I'm in a good mood today. I just had a wonderful phone call with two amazing, lovely people, and I'm feeling very happy. Isn't it a beautiful thing that you can watch yourself grow into like a person that you almost don't recognize? Like for example, last year I was all about gold, gold, gold. The only thing you could not find me in that wasn't gold was rose gold. And I all of a sudden this year for me, I was like I can wear both. And I thought to myself, I like the way that diamonds and moissanite look in silver on me because it makes the diamonds pop more. Maybe I'm not as into gold as I think. Or at the very least, next thing you know, you saw me wearing my tennis fucking necklace with the silver. And I thought, you know what, let's add a silver cross. You know what, let's add some big studs. And what's funny about studs is like I love huge stud earrings as an adult, but when I was a child, I hated them for all of my fucking life. Maybe it's because it was cheap, ugly bullshit. But to me, I thought to myself, if I were to go into Claire's as a young girl, which do you think I would really want? Some weak ass, tiny little stud earrings that are barely noticeable and would hurt like hell when my mom, with her long fucking fingernails, would fucking try to jam that shit closed and never fucking fully could because the hole was too small on my goddamn earlobe? Or do you think if I'm gonna go through the effort of beauty being pain, I want something long, elegant, dangly like a princess or a model or like something that you would see on like a cool Revlon or Maybelline model as she throws her hair. You know what I mean? I used to love short hair. It was my favorite thing. I thought to myself, I want to look like Madison Page from Heavy Rain. And then it's funny how as time has gone on, next thing you know, I loved having long, flowy hair down my back because I thought, oh, when I belly dance and when I move, it feels good to sway and shake it. And then now I've reached a good point where next thing you know, I liked hair around my shoulders. And then most recently, I thought, you know what, let's have cornrows. Because the less effort I can do with my hair, then I can always just toss on a wig, the better. What's so funny is that I hated wigs when I was younger. Or I loved wigs as a kid. I thought they were amazing. My mother never let me have one. And then when I grew up in middle school, everyone had these awful wigs where you could see the lace and terrible gel down edges and synthetic wigs, and everyone looked awful. And then in high school, it didn't look better. And I thought to myself, damn, why would they go through the trouble to get such ugly, like it doesn't look like their real hair. It looks terrible. They should wear their natural hair. But the whole time, I didn't even like natural hair back in the day. I thought to myself, when my mother and sister were pressuring me to go natural and wear my natural hair, they were rightfully fucking wrong, because it's like, I'll put it this way. No, I knew how to assimilate into society. I knew what was considered good or bad, and it's so funny how next thing you know, over the pandemic, when I actually did embrace my natural hair, they were the same people against it. I don't know what's up with those two, and I don't care. They're out of my hair. No pun intended, but hey, it sticks, it sticks. And then next thing you know, I'm a huge, like, I used to think, I don't know if I can ever wear an afro. But next thing you know, I had my braids and my cornrows in long enough, and my hair got long enough, and it's my favorite style to wear, a nice big floofy fucking afro. And then I thought to myself, you know what earrings would suit this really well? Big fucking stud medallion earrings. Dangly ones are cute, but studs are great because it really just shows off the beautiful curve of my afro as well as the angles of my jawline and my long neck. And it really brings attention closer to my face than a dangly earring would. And next thing you know, I loved a dangly earring. It's so funny how I used to hate studs, and then next thing you know, they became my favorite thing. And I hated studs because my mom with her long fucking talons would be so painful about just trying to put her painful long nails in my ear as she tried to put those things shut. But now that she's gone, that's no longer an issue. Now that she's gone, a lot of things aren't issues, and she's no longer an issue, which is a blessing. What's so funny is I used to hate long nails for a lot of reasons. It was as if it was a fucking crime as a kid for me to have, like, short nails. My sister had long nails. My mother had long nails. I, on the other hand, I bit my nails down. But you know what? It made it easier to paint and draw and do whatever the fuck I wanted. And they would always be like, stop biting your nails. It's unfeminine. It's stupid. It's gross. Why are you doing it? And not even you know how you can buy nail polish to put on your fingers that'll make your nails look shiny, and you try to lick it and it tastes gross? I just developed a taste for it, and that kind of made it better and even more fun. Like, I started chewing off the full fucking nail at that point. Backfired. But you know what happened? At some point, I stopped thinking to myself, long nails are stupid, gross, and unhygienic, and I thought to myself, when I got older, next thing you know, over the pandemic, I had enough free time on my hands. So I had free time with my hands, and I thought, you know what? Like, 1 second I just laid down and slept during a depression for too many days, if I recall correctly. At least, like, mostly. And then I woke up and I was like, wow, my nails grew pretty fast. I didn't expect that. What if I kept growing them out longer? And I just wanted to see how long I could get them to grow. And they were beautiful and long and elegant. But even before then, I experimented with long nails. I just let them grow out, you know? Not too long, not too short. Long enough where I could defend myself if someone tried to rape me, which sadly has come in handy multiple times, even against my own mother. One of the final times I had ever seen her, I had to use my nails to defend myself. And frankly, I hope that bitch scars. Because, trust me, she scarred me growing up. She gets to be scarred as an adult. Emotionally and physically. It's what she deserves. Disgusting bitch. But as I was gonna say, it's interesting to know that also around like a few years before that event took place, you know, like I said, it helped me in self-defense, but I remember this one man I met. He offered me such an obscene amount of money to like date him. But even then, just for like a single platonic date back then, he just was like, hey, I'll give you, I think he gave me $50 or something just to go out with dinner with him. No sex, no kissing, no anything. And as he ranted and ranted about his many, many divorces, he told me, wow, you have such amazingly long, beautiful hands. Oh, they're so big. And I learned that people have a hand fetish. And he was like, your hands are perfect, and I love how long your nails are getting. Do you get them even longer? And thus a star was born. And so occasionally I will grow out my nails nice and long, but there's still, to this day, nothing more cathartic than biting the motherfuckers off. And then not being afraid to get down and dirty and not caring about when I break a nail. I remember that when I was younger, I absolutely hated showers. Hated them. Because I was autistic. I thought they were noisy, I thought they were stupid, and I was a child, so of course it's just like the water's gonna spray me right in the face. But as I grew taller with my growth spurt, next thing you know, I could scrub-a-dub-dub as long as I want, anytime I want. With these, it became my solace. During hard days, I still knew I could turn on some hot water and just scrub and relax. But then you know what happened? At some point, at least for a few months, I liked cold showers. I used to like steaming hot showers that would boil you alive. Next thing you know, starting off my morning with a nice cool blast of water to the face to like wake up my endorphins felt fucking great. Would still turn it back warmer later, of course. Still gotta get that dead skin off your body, but it felt good. I remember I used to hate getting pedicures as a kid, but then when you grow up, next thing you know, when you learn that you can get paid like $350, whether that's for a feet pic or someone sucking on your feet for like fucking 10 minutes, you sort of start caring about how your feet look. And then next thing you know, it's fun to get my toes painted the same color as the inner lining of my pussy, or Starburst colored, something that looks edible. So the color of Skittles or Starburst, or cute dum-dum lollipops at worst. And I like having them cute and pretty, so that when I strut around in high heels, I can say that I look gorgeous from my head to my toes, and know that there's not a single crevice of my body that someone would not eat fucking food off of. And that feels great. Plus, having really soft feet is a surreal experience. The next thing you know, you learn wild things like, oh, I like foot jobs. Don't ask me about that further. I haven't tried it that much. Life is very interesting. I don't know. I used to think anal was the worst thing ever. Ever. I was like, why would someone do that? And then I tried it with the man I loved at the time. And then I learned that I like anal better than the pussy. And it's like, oh. What? Why does it feel better than the place a dick's actually supposed to be? I don't know. I don't give a fuck, but I got a new favorite thing. Amen. I still don't give it out to just anybody, though. I already don't do that with the front, and I definitely am not with the back. I used to hate makeup. I thought makeup hides your natural beauty, and it's a cop-out. People should just put in effort to make sure that their natural face looks good. Like, if you don't like your eyebrows, then get a wax or put some oils on your skin to make them grow out better. If you don't like your skin, then invest in like papaya soap and exfoliants and like lotions that aren't too heavy and stuff. But then time changed and I still did most things right, and even when I couldn't because of severe depression, things happen. You go through life trauma, and next thing you know, it's like, okay, there's a few scars that just simply are not going to go away for quite a long time. There's some dark circles that are just genetic to my family, and you know what? Even though I can put on mascara and like mask them, but there are still some days where it's like you can't hide the fact that you cried all night, or can't hide the fact that you went through a lot of trauma. And fuck it, like I've had niggas try to insult my complexion, and it was the most insulting thing ever. But I remember this one specific lady on the internet. She dates all sorts of, or tries to date all sorts of rich men. She's gotten better at it. She said the best advice I can give you, ladies, is don't be afraid of makeup, because there's some really, you just have to get the right products. And she said try BB cream. It's like it's makeup, but instead of it being filled with toxic bullshit that looks unnatural and makes your skin worse, it's full of like hyaluronic acid, salicylic acid, collagen, and it'll make your skin better. And you know what happened? Alright, I got the fucking Joa crystal, fucking hyaluronic acid collagen, like, primedation, as they call it. So it didn't take much effort. I put it on just like lotion, and then I remember the first night I stepped out my house with it on, like, people already thought I was fucking gorgeous, but then when niggas approached me that knew me and see me all the time, they were like, have you done something different? You look really good, like really healthy. Life's really been treating you well. Wow. Damn, you look really good. And then this other nigga was like, wow, you look amazing. You look fucking gorgeous. Wow, something happened? And I was like, oh, no, not really. I've just been eating better. And they believed it. And then people kept coming up to me and asking, you're so fucking gorgeous. Do you model? How do you get your skin like that? And I'm an honest person. I was like, oh, just some makeup. And they said, well, girl, don't tell people it's makeup, because you look fucking good naturally. And I thought that was wild. Speaking of natural, they really told me, it looks like your natural skin, so act like it's your natural skin. And it's like, okay, shit. There goes that. And then I liked makeup. But don't worry, I still don't wear it often, because frankly, I love the way I look in any single way, shape, and form, and nothing's gonna change that. I used to think that, speaking of natural, on this topic, I used to think that shelling out money for natural gemstones was fucking stupid, when you can just go on wish.com and get some 25-cent, 99-cent jewelry and get balled the fuck out on and have a great fucking time. Like, you could get, like, and why would you spend thousands on, like, some expensive piece of, like, fucking gold and metal and slave-owned fucking, or slave-mined fucking gemstones from, like, fucking forced, Africans in another country that probably died in the process just to make a fucking ring for you. And it's overpriced as hell, and that money could be used to, like, I don't know, build a small hospital or, like, invest in a property. Like, why would you do that with jewelry? And you know what happened? One thing led to another. And then instead of me being like, how do I put this? Once I learned about interesting things about gemstones, like, oh, did you know that, like, these gemstones are a lot stronger than cubic zirconia? They can last for generations. They don't fall out. I mean, if they fall out, like, extremely low chance of scratching, extremely low chance of cracking or damage. Like, you can have, like, instead of a piece of jewelry that you can wear, like, a few times or for a few years before it eventually breaks or chips or gets foggy or gets dirty and doesn't ever truly have the same shine as when you first got it, even when you deep clean it with, like, dish soap or chemical detergents. And, hey, don't you want your gold rings to stay gold? Don't you hate when they turn, like, rusty or turquoise or silver? And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, okay, you know what? Shelling out a bit more for the long run does sound better. And what do you mean? Like, and then I learned about the value of gold. And it's like, oh, okay. And next thing you know, it was like, you know what? And once I learned about other things like pleochlorism or luminescence and, like, flash and fire, like, I was big on it. 1 second you think diamonds are dumb as fuck, because why would you get diamonds when you can get perfectly good cubic zirconia from, like, fucking CVS and wear that shit, and everyone's gonna think you're a rich girl anyway? What's the point of buying diamonds when you already can get CZ? And then next thing you know, you go to Bloomingdale's on a whim and you're allowed to try on a diamond and sapphire ring, and you're like, wow, I've seen fucking sapphire and zirconia rings before, but I've never known that you could get a sapphire that looks like you're staring directly into the deep fucking beautiful blue ocean. with multiple layers of color like this. I didn't know that you could see multiple colors in their shit. You can't get that in other stones easily. Like, and like, wow, like diamond has a certain glow to it that's noticeable. Like, I'll put it like cubic zirconia does have more color, but diamond has an extremely strong, like staring at a fucking diamond emerald ring feels like you're staring into like a separate room in like another universe. It's hard to explain it. Like looking into a light box, like full of like a hall of mirrors, or like, oh, like it's amazing. It's it has a lot of depth that just makes you stare into it like, whoa, I'm getting my soul sucked into it. It's beautiful. And then next thing you know, I was really into diamond. And the next thing you know, I was into lab grown diamond, and then I heard about moissanite, and I heard that that actually has a bunch more fire, flash, and color. And the next thing you know, I like that. And then, funny enough, I'm circling back because after a while of being like, oh my god, I hope one day I get real sapphires and rubies and emeralds, and oh, I could get them natural or lab grown up for da 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 da. Then guess, and how next thing you know, I was scared of like getting a fake emerald because I thought to myself, what if I invest money into what I think is a lab grown emerald, but it's really just cubic zirconia? I may as well have someone shell out money to a real jeweler and pay a fuck ton of money for useless fucking rock, so I can at least know that deep in my soul I have the real thing. And that was a huge thing. And the next thing you know what changed that? I went on a date with a wealthy man. Very, very wealthy. And as we were on a date with this man who comes from extreme money, he looked at my 99 cent, or actually, like, it was 99 cents for a 20 pack of earrings. And I just picked out the blue ones, like, the night before. And as we were getting breakfast the morning after our date, we didn't have sex, but it was just for the sake of, like, I'm just saying. Just to set that straight, we did not have sex. This nigga looked at my fucking 10 cents or less worth, like, fucking shitty ass blue stud earrings that probably weren't even cubic zirconia, probably just not even glass, just blue plastic. And he looked at it, and he looked at the way it slightly flashed in the sun, and he said, oh boy, I love those sapphire earrings you've got. And I thought to myself, oh, you know what? Maybe I don't need the real thing if not even someone who's around extremely, extremely wealthy people all the time can tell the difference between a 10-cent pair of earrings and a $10,000 pair of earrings. So I've changed that mindset, and I placed a huge order on Temu for a bunch of fucking jewelry. And, yeah. And, yeah. And another thing about me, I've had mixed opinions on, like, oh, if someone asks if my jewelry is real or fake, or if I'm wearing makeup or not, is it better to lie or is it better to tell the truth? People say it's better to lie and let people believe what they want about you. But, I don't know. I still I'll put it this way. I used to believe in being honest, but now, honestly, with how I've been dealing with romance and friendships, I think I am going to start lying to people. Like, yes, this is real sapphire. Oh, yes, this is just my real skin. I just have a really great routine. Absolutely. I guess it's just genetics and just going from there. And I used to be very against lying. I am against lying as a person. I might pick up the habit of lying soon, but we'll see how that goes. Or maybe I already picked it up, and you just don't know. Or am I kidding? Slightly. 50%. Half truths have been said in this video, but pretty much 96% of what I said in this video is true. You'll be able to know, I think. But yeah, God bless. It's just fascinating to know, like, I don't know. As a kid, you hate pink, and then as an adult, you are like, pink blankets, pink everything. Oh, speaking of crystals, I remember I walked into a shop with this lady in, I think, like, Benicia or something. And she had a beautiful little antique shop. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I told her ass. I was like, oh, I would love to. And I told her about how my impending hobby was going into, like shops like Goodwill or whatever, where they have those big bags of jewelry. And if I found a piece of jewelry that had, like, terrible stones, but a very unique, like, Art Deco or Art Nouveau or unique type setting, how I would simply buy some, like, lab-grown gemstones that are verified to be real of the same size and then replace them. So I get the beauty of an antique piece, but the luxury of a modern-day piece with faceted gemstones. And she looked at me with so much disgust, as if she was totally fine with, like, if an anvil came out of nowhere and just bonked me on the head and took my life and sent me to hell where she thinks I would have belonged, like, she would have been extremely satisfied. That would have like made her whole week. But she handled it very well, because you know what she did? She picked up a very beautiful... I remember I was wearing my nice Moissanite jewelry that I had just got, and I loved the Fire the Flash player. And I saw this one piece in her stand, and I was like, what's this? Oh my god. And I saw two brooches. One was this amazing star piece, and the other was a very, very small circular, like, round little oval. And I was like, I love the star piece. That one's very unique, but like, this circle one is really calling to me. Why does it look better? And it doesn't even seem like it's a very well cut gemstone. I'm not even sure if this is a gemstone from the earth. It looks like it's supposed to be glass or something, but why is it sparkling better and almost more than my moissanite? And she was pleased, and she was like, this right here. And she delicately flipped over the piece, and she was like, I believe this could be made anywhere between the 1880s and the 1960s. But it's, I think, actually the 1920s. And you know what this is? It's a piece of Austrian crystal. And it was specifically manufactured. And she told me an amazing backstory that very much distracted me from the fact that it was a piece of, like, pretty much glass, if not plastic, that had foil backing on it. Kind of, if I recall correctly. But it was still cut in a very endearing way. And I'll put it this way. She sold it very well, where I only realized what it truly was after the fact. But in that moment, I thought to myself, you know what, this expensive little halo circle, which has so much spark and fire and flame, it's amazing. And she told me, you know what you should do? I want you to have it. Like, of course, to purchase it, of course. She wasn't giving it for free. But she said, I think that you could be the rightful owner, because the woman told me to give it to someone that she thinks would truly cherish it and wear it with love. And so I got it. And even when I realized, oh, okay, it's like Austrian crystal isn't a type of very... I'll put it this way. My opinion on Austrian crystal is mixed. Would I say it's an extremely rare... It's not... I'll put it this way. It was a rare piece, or at least rare enough, in my opinion. It was from an old time period, and it didn't matter that it wasn't some new age, lab-grown gemstone like moissanite that would have more fire flare or anything else above anybody else. Because you know what? It still flashed just as beautifully, if not more, than the moissanite I had, which was already impressive considering it wasn't cut very well. And I looked at it and I fell in love and I took it home and I still love it and cherish it. Amen. And I'm super happy about it. And you know what's funny? It's like it flipped a switch in my brain that made me go, you know what? I think I'll just appreciate antique pieces what they are. If it's an ugly piece, it's an ugly piece. But if it's truly so darling and beautiful, and I don't think it's that bad. Plus, I remember once on Reddit, this bitch got an attitude with me. And someone made a post on the Moissanite subreddit talking about how she got a new cubic zirconia ring. And people usually only posted Moissanite or diamond, and I meant it without critique. I was like, oh, out of curiosity, why wouldn't you get a Moissanite or diamond? Aren't you worried about, like, scratching or whatever? Because I heard that cubic zirconia can be scratchy and clouding. And this one bitch read me for filth, and I hate that skank. And if I remembered her username, I would read her ass right now. But it's okay. Because you know what? It sort of helped, because it still did make me research, like, this bitch is saying all sorts of shit wrong. Is it true that cubic zirconia is fucking more flashy and beautiful than fucking, cubic zirconia? And then the internet told me, oh no, it's true. Cubic zirconia does have more color, flash, and more than diamond. It just depends on the quality of diamond you get. Like, if you get high quality diamond, or low quality diamond. High quality cubic zirconia or low quality. If you get high quality, like, you can get some that looks basically identical to a diamond and probably has even more color than a diamond ever could dream of in its fucking life. Meanwhile, on the other hand, like, you know, most places, like, will sell, like, shitty, like, there's really shitty Temu quality. There's the type you find at CVS. There's the type you'll find at Bloomingdale's. There's the type you'll find and then there's the 5A quality, which is extremely hard to get unless you get it overseas or from an extremely talented costume designer. And then guess what? You know what happened? Next thing you know, I love cubic zirconia, because it's like, oh, I can get the diamond look and I can get the diamond look. Guaranteed, if not better. And it's just interesting to know that some things can come full circle, some things can do a 180. It's fascinating to me. And I'm so happy about it. And it's just beautiful to know, like, you'll find out things about yourself that you never knew you could be into. Like, you know, one second you're a kid who hates garlic bread, the next thing you know, you're an adult where if they add garlic bread as a gift with your order of pizza at a smaller joint, it makes your whole fucking night, if not your whole fucking week, and you'll just eat that shit endlessly. One second as a kid you hate tomatoes, and the next second you need it on every single burger or salad or meal you have, and you'll even request it when it's not listed on an item. One second you think blowjobs are disgusting and degrading, the next thing you know they're your favorite thing, and you get cravings for them all the time. Giving and well, giving, because I'm a girl, I don't have a dick. One second you don't sympathize with rich people or royalty, and you think that they're all annoying snobs. The next thing you know, your favorite thing is looking up movies like Marie Antoinette and watching them live a life of opulence and hearing about their individualized struggles and how just because they were in a high palace with walls didn't mean that they were free from pain. And about how their obliviousness is infuriating but also understandable. Doesn't mean I like royalty though, fuck royalty. But you know what? If I was some Austrian sent to another country for just like some shitty marriage with a gay dude, like, and I just needed to give birth to a baby and couldn't, and everyone was ruining my life, you know what? I would also spend an obscene amount of money on gemstones and cakes and sweets and chill out with my homegirls and play games all the time. And that's funny because I fucking do that. I do that without even being a part of the monarchy. So you know what? Real shit. And I don't know, like, it's just so fast. Like, my opinions on dating have changed. I used to think, oh, I would go 50-50 with my lover. If not, just, like, pay for everything, because I'm fine with it, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, now my dating standards are like, no, a man needs to pay for everything, otherwise I'm totally fine not having a man. I used to be the biggest supporter of men. And let's just say, y'all niggas deserve whatever the fuck I give you, good or bad. Mostly bad. Holy shit. But when it's good, it's good. I'm just saying. Oh, God. I used to think drinking out at bars was fucking stupid. You want to know what happened? I had the option to go home slightly tipsy or to go home blackout drunk. And let's just say I got this hand injury on my hand, which you'll notice earlier in the video. And it's really, really deep. I got that from being blackout drunk because I was tipsy as fuck at this bar. And my dumbass homie saw me limping my head. And this nigga says, "Want one more?" And then I don't even fully react. I am just in the stage of trying to lift my head off my shoulder on some crooked man, ostrich in the floor type shit. Or is it emus that do that? I think it's ostriches. Either way, I'm trying to lift my fucking neck up like a fucking swan or a fucking, flamingo. And he just thinks that's a head nod. So despite me being clearly drunk, he just tosses me another fucking shot of like Casadores. And then I think to myself, hey, why have one shot when I could have two? Fuck it. I get two. And I pour that shit in a glass. I have the bartender top it up with cherry juice and some fucking soda water. And I think to myself, I'm gonna black out if I drink this. 100%. It's no denying. I'm gonna black out. You know what I did? I chugged that shit. And you know what I did? I had the time of my fucking life impressing my friends with the ultimate stupid gate climbing type. I was a mess. Hot steaming mess. But I had a great fucking time. I had an amazing time. And I don't even like drinking now. I still don't. Like, how do I put this? Do I like drinking? I'll put it this way. I used to be one of those people where I thought to myself, drinking is stupid. It kills your body, it kills your mind, and it's just fucking helpless. It's like you have no reason to drink. There's always another solution outside of it. And now it's my go-to. But I'm working on that because it's changing a lot of things about me, and I don't want that. Like, damn it, now I have to work hard to keep my body in shape. Fuck that shit. But whatever. And then next thing you know, I'm the type of person where it's like, hey, you know what will really make my day? A Mike's Hard or lemonade mixed with a fucking Red Bull or a Rockstar energy drink, and mixing that shit together, chugging it, and then allowing myself to black out, and then waking up the next day like, oh shit, I did all the hard shit I didn't want to do sober. How amazing. And I'll be like, why is my floor clean? Who scraped the mold off my bathtub? Who did this? Who did that? And I still don't like drinking at bars. I still don't. If you're wondering why I have been lately, if it hasn't been a lot of stress, then it's just been the fact that it's like, it's free. And money goes to the bartender, and hey, you know what? It makes me laugh harder at people's jokes if I go to a comedy show. But I really need to stop doing that. In fact, next Tuesday, because of my hand injury, I'm probably just gonna flat out say that I shouldn't do anything more. I have moments where one second I'm a big fan of high-end jewelry and cheap shit sounds stupid. The next thing you know, I love the cheap shit. Because you know what? Spending 11K on a pair of earrings just for me to pay 99 cents on Shein and then have everyone ask, oh my god, is that real 14 karat gold? It's crazy. I used to be so good at lying that I could do it fucking ridiculously easy. And then next thing you know, I learned how to condition myself to tell nothing but the truth at all fucking times, even when I didn't want to. Both feel good, and both can come very naturally to me if I let it. But for now, at least maybe for a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. We'll see how that goes. I've been honest up until this point. I swear on my goddamn life, I love honesty. Or, let's see, maybe not swear on my life, because I just remembered, it's like, okay, maybe one or two things. You know what? Fuck it. Well, not swear on my life. Sorry. I take that back. I'm sorry. Don't strike me down. I've been mostly honest about anything, and yeah, pretty much everything. Any stories I've told about men? True. Any stories I've told about my family? Sadly, absolutely true. Trust me, why would I lie about that? I'm just saying. There's probably just been one or two items that I've slightly hyped up. A little more than what they... Well, whatever. Still fucking good items and still expensive, so what can I say? Either way. And I don't know, life is interesting. I used to be one of those people that was like, like, go out the house, enjoy sunshine, enjoy fresh air. There's like, write out your feelings. There's a million things you can do that don't have to be relying on sex or alcohol or drugs like some people do. And next thing you know, you're the chick who's craving head all the time and chugging Mountain Dew and being friends with terrible people. I used to be one of those people that thought you should cut people off the second they do anything to slightly piss you off. And then next thing you know, I have my buddy Sean, who pisses me off astronomically hard every single time I see him. Almost to the point of a breakdown, but then he'll give me like a really cool jacket and his mother's jewelry after she passed away, or groceries just to be sweet. And then it'll be moments like that that make me feel kind of good that I didn't always cut people off right away. I don't know, life just fascinates me. We live beautiful, interesting lives, and it's just fun to see how some parts of your life can just vanish, some parts come back, some parts it'll be an endless spiral of just like gone back, gone back, gone back. Like, it's amazing. And you will find so many beautiful versions of yourself that you didn't know were out there. Because, like, if you were to ask me in 2023 or so what I thought the most beautiful I looked was, I would have said, oh, when I had my nice clear skin and I had no dark circles and I had on this specific nice, like, hot pink lipstick, my hair flowing down my back, body covered in shea butter, nice gold necklace, um, flowy orange Audrey Hepburn style dress and some low heels. But if you were to ask me, hey Tamia, when did you feel the most beautiful in like 2025? May say something entirely different. Or like in 2024, it's like, oh yeah, my most bad bitch outfit in 2024, that's when I had the pink wig and this and that and this and that. And or it'll be like, oh, in 2025 when I had my big natural afro at the fullest length and I had my big silver jewelry on, like the huge studs. And yeah, I used to hate rings and now I love big fucking rings, when before my autism and my body couldn't handle it and it would disturb my writing. But you know what happened? I no longer write, so it's not really an issue. And then now that I've gotten back into writing again, I've gotten so used to rings that it doesn't bother me now. And I used to hate writing, and then I learned I was good at it, and then I loved writing, and then I stopped for a long time, and then I hated writing again because of carpal tunnel, and if not carpal tunnel, then masturbation issues, or because I would have an apartment that was so cold, I would have to sleep on my own hands and arms just to pass out. And then you know what happens? You wake up again, and you're just like, huh, I think I love writing. And then you get into writing about your life and your passions, and you rediscover yourself. It is a beautiful journey to experience yourself. Don't feel afraid of changes, because usually you will always come back to yourself. Yes, even that version of yourself that you missed when you were like 12. Well, back when you only loved yourself and didn't bother to go outside. You can be her again. I'm becoming her again, and I'm enjoying staying inside and having online friends and a peaceful life and not too many people facing activities. Or like, oh, what about when you were mostly social? You will have that again. You will leave the house again. I remember during the pandemic, I was afraid I would never experience a party or socialize or feel good again. And then I did. I went to some terrible fucking parties and thought, wow, I hate parties. And then I went to some amazing fucking parties and I said, wow, I love parties. And I've loved drinking and I've hated drinking. I've loved Eating healthy and vegetables and belly dancing, and I've also hated it all the same. Or not hated, but disliked it. You know, it's like, there's a reason I haven't signed up again, and it's because the teacher's a fucking cunt, but whatever. And yeah, I'm just saying. One second you hate gossip, the next second you love telling people about what Tony did to Brenda, or how Sean had a secret girlfriend of a decade, or about, like, this guy you knew who secretly was talking to 9 women at once, as well as friend zoning this one girl who desperately wanted him type shit. The next thing you know, it's fun. It's so beautiful. Peace out.